أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر. سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Surah At-Teen, the fig. In the name of Allah, the most affectionate, the most merciful. Ayat number 5. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ السَّافِلِينَ. Then we left him to go to the lowest of the low. In the commentary it is mentioned, it means since the human being did appreciate the above mentioned bounties and adopted infidelity and evil deeds, we made him worse than animals and lower than any insect and filth. By declaring his abode to be hell, this tells us that an infidel is worse than an animal. For this reason, there was place for the animals in the ark of Hazrat Nuh, on whom be peace, but not for the infidels. It could also mean that in old age, man has been reduced lower than children and demented person by snatching his beauty, intelligence, and strength which were once provided to him. This tells us that these things do not belong to us, but to Allah Almighty. But those we learn that the true believers is spread from nervousness and ludicrosity of old age. Ayat number 6. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونٍ. Except those who believe and do righteous deeds, for them there is an endless reward. In the commentary it is mentioned, from this emerge a few issues. Number 1, that faith precedes deeds. With faith, no good deed is correct. Number 2, good deeds should be performed at all times. Do not let it suffice by doing it once. And number 3, perform all types of good deeds. Do not leave any by regarding it to be trivial, because Allah Almighty has made faith to precede deed and declare the verb did. In the past continuous tense, pious deeds are presented in the plural. It should be remembered that the minor children of the believers would benefit from the pious deeds of their parents. Similarly, sinners like us would be forgiven through the medium of some pious person. The verse is not against the concept of isale sawab, i.e., conveying the reward of your good deeds to the departed souls. The conveyed deed is by law the deed for him whom it is conveyed to. It means internal, in that the pious servants receive so many rewards in their old age, sickness, traveling, like those he had been doing in his youth, good health and dwelling. After his death, his angel appointing for writing his deed, engage in worship at his grave until the day of judgment, which would continue to occur to the inmates of the grave. This is mentioned in Tafsir Azizi Ruhul Mani. Ayat number 7. فَمَا يُكَذِّبُكَ بَعْدُ بِالدِّينِ. What then now causes you to deny the judgment? In the commentary it is mentioned, it means, O infidels, how can you reject the day of judgment after seeing your own ups and downs? That Lord who could bring you into existence from nothingness, surely He has the power to do this again. O beloved, who is there now who can believe your religion after seeing so many proofs? This is mentioned in Ruhul Mani. From it, we learn that to ponder over divine proofs is an act of worship. Because the infidels would accept the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as trustworthy and truthful in worldly matters only, had remained rejectors of his faith. For this reason, mention has been made here of religion. Ayat number 8. أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِأَحْكَمِ الْحَاكِمِينَ. Is not Allah the greatest of all rulers? In the commentary it is mentioned, He most certainly is. From it emerge a few issues. Number 1, Allah Almighty has appointed some of His pious servants as rulers. The king of the country is outwardly a ruler, while prophets and saints are rulers inwardly. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the ruler of both physical and celestial worlds, as being understood from the plural of rulers. And number 2, besides Allah Almighty, none is greatest of all rulers, because greatest ruler is He whose rule should be from eternity and remain till eternity, whose kingdom should be over the entire creation, from whose sovereignty none can escape even after his death, in whose dominion no unjust decision and ruling can ever take place, from whose rule no one can ever escape. These attributes are found in any dominion beside that of Allah Almighty. Our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the highest reflection of sovereignty of Allah Almighty. The greater details refer to the book Sultanat-e-Mustafa. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyid al-mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My dear Islam brothers, let's recite Durud and Salam upon the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasool wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habib Allah. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Nabi Allah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nur Allah. Excellence of Durood and Salam, the person who recites 3 times Durood Pak in the morning and 3 times in the evening with love and devotion, his minor sins will be forgiven that day by the fazl and by the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You can't buy a cure. And the scholars have mentioned that when illnesses come on a body, they're very hard to remove, like cancer. But when the heart becomes black due to sin, metaphorically, then by the zikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, the heart becomes pure. Remember, so you can buy medicine with money, but you can't buy a cure. If it were possible to buy a cure, then wealthy people wouldn't have miserably died on the beds of hospitals. Wealth is not a cure for worries and distress. In fact, if you want to know the truth, the wealthier a person is, the more worries and distress he has. The rich are normally robbed. The children of the rich people are usually kidnapped and held to ransom. The peace of mind and the heart cannot be obtained through wealth. But the wealthy person is often seen in tension and agony. Still, surprisingly, everyone is prepared to make any type of sacrifice to earn money. So my dear Islamic brothers, another waqi I'd like to present, a scholar mentioning that once there was a king and he would have so much luxuries and he had these maids and slaves working for him. And one of these slaves, he would have this room decorated with flowers. And she would come and she would water these flowers. One day she became so old and her back started hurting. And the king had a very luxury and beautiful bed. And this old woman, when she was doing her giving water to these flowers, she took some rest on the bed. And when the king walked in, he realized, what is this slave woman doing on my bed? He got so angry and he called the guards. And he said, take this woman and hang her upside down and whip her. So they did as the guards were commanded to do. When they were whipping her, she was screaming, she was shouting. And then when the whip was stopped for rest, she started laughing. And then the king gave the order to stop for one moment. Why are you crying and screaming? The old woman said, you obviously are beating me and it's very painful and this is why I'm screaming. And then he said, why are you laughing then? I can understand that. She goes, I'm laughing because I only took a rest for about 10 minutes on that bed and I'm getting punished for it. What is the condition of that king that sleeps on that bed day and day night and enjoys the luxury life? And this is what we have become. We are sleeping and then we are working, but no time for ibadah. So this is a bit of reflection that we have to prepare for the akhirah, and we shouldn't oversleep. Sometimes we oversleep and all we do is work and we're into our wealth. And we've just heard a bit of the waqiyah regarding this, regarding earning money, and no one finds sukoon in the wealthy aspect of life. The sukoon is in the deen. The sukoon is in the worship of Allah. The sukoon and the peace that you get in your heart is in the recitation of the Quran. So may Allah Azza wa Jal give His ability to balance our life and to perform good deeds before we die. Ameen. Bijahin Nabil Ameen. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. या इलाही रहम फरमा मुस्तफ़ा के वास्ते या रसूल अल्लाह करम कीजिए खुदा के वास्ते مشکلیں حل کر شہ مشکل کشا کے واسطے، کربلائے رد شہید کربلا کے واسطے، سید سجاد کے صدقے میں ساجد رکھ مجھے، علم حق دے باکر علم خدا کے واسطے، صدق صادق کا تصدق صادق الاسلام کر، بے غضب راضی ہو کاظم اور رضا کے واسطے، بہر معروف و سری معروف دے بے خود سری، جلد حق میں گل جنید باصفا کے واسطے، بہر شبلی شیر حق دنیا کے کتوں سے بچا، ایک کارک عبد واحد بیریا کے واسطے، بل فرح کا صدقہ کر غم کو فرح دے حسن و سعد، بل حسن ابو سعید سعد زا کے واسطے، قادری کر قادری رکھ قادریوں میں اٹھا، قدر عبد القادر قدرت نما کے واسطے، احسن اللہ لہم رزقا سے دے رزق حسن، بندہ رزاق تاج الاصفیاء کے واسطے، نصر بھی صالح کا صدقہ صالح و منصور رکھ، دے حیات دین محیی جاں فضا کے واسطے، طور عرفاں و علو و حمد و حسن و بہا، دے علی موسیٰ حسن احمد بہا کے واسطے، بہر ابراہیم مجھ پر نار غم گلزار کر، بیک دے داتا بھکار بادشاہ کے واسطے، خانہ دل کو زیاد روح ایمان کو جمال، شہزیہ مولا جمال الاولیاء کے واسطے، دے محمد کے لیے روزی کر احمد کے لیے، خوان فضل اللہ سے حصہ گدا کے واسطے، دین دنیا کے مجھے برکات دے برکات سے، عشق حق دے عشق عشق التماع کے واسطے، حب اہل بیت دے آل محمد کے لیے، کر شہید عشق حمزہ پیشوا کے واسطے، دل کو اچھا تن کو ستھرا جان کو پر نور کر، اچھے پیارے شمسی دی بدر الاولیٰ کے واسطے، دو جہاں میں خادم آل رسول اللہ کر، حضرت آل رسول مقتدی کے واسطے، کر عطا احمد رضائے احمد مرسل مجھے، میرے مولا حضرت احمد رضا کے واسطے، پرزیا کر میرا چہرہ حشر میں اے کبریا، شہزیاء الدین پیر باصفا کے واسطے، احینا فی الدین والدنیا سلام بالسلام، قادری عبد السلام اشعدا کے واسطے، عشق احمد میں عطا کر چشم تر سوز جگر، या हुदा इलियास को अहमद रजा के वास्ते सदका इलाया कदे चैन इज़ इल्मो अमल अफ़वा इरफान आफियत इस बेनवात के वास्ते. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept with the virtues of these pious saints our good deeds, Salat al-Fajr, this Madani Halqa. Forgive us for any mistakes, Ya Allah. Forgive our major and minor sins and give us the istiqamat in deen. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, protect our Imaan and protect our children's Imaan. Give them success in schools, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, and give them the ability to refrain from wrongful and bad education. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, take away any court cases, any problematics. Ya Allah, protect us from this pandemic. Ya Allah, protect all the Muslims around the globe from this so-called COVID-19. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give us good health and give us death with Iman in the beautiful city of Madinatul Munawwara, with the vision of the beloved Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and grant us burial in Jannatul Baqi. And Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, in the day of accountability, give us the shafa'at of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and give us the ability to cross the bridge of Sirat and enter into paradise with the companions, with the Ahle Bayt, with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the prophets of Allah. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give us success and grant us your vision in paradise. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept the du'as of the majlis, our brother Ahmad. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, restore his knee, take away the seizure, take away the stiffness. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give him the ability to walk again. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, brother Qasim, give him good health. Ya Allah, give me a gift yesterday. Ya Allah, with the blessing of this gift, enlighten his heart. Ya Allah, bless his granddad. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give him death with Iman. And brother Naeem, brother Sajid, Ya Allah, bless them both. Ya Allah, bless their families. Ya Allah, give them offsprings. And Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, take away any calamities or any court cases. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, brother Sajid and his nephew, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, grant him peace and tranquility and give him the istiqamat in deen. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, bless them and bless his children, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, and give them success. Bless our Pir and Murshid, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, give them death with Iman and keep this sayah above our heads with this supplication. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, grant us death with the Iman. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, and bless our parents if they are passed away. Grant them a high place in Jannah, and those parents that are alive, give us the ability to serve them. Sallallahu ala nabiyyil ummi wa alihi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salatan wa salaman alayki ya Rasulullah. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.